had a guest, but I guess he's tied up on a flight, so we requested to reschedule next meeting.
That's what he's intending.
Okay. All right, and so minute approval, a regular meeting of October 21st.
I had no corrections.
This afternoon, I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Gene,
Yes.
PJ,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes. Okay, scheduled reports. Frank Kitko, zoning inspector, how are you feeling, Frank?
Okay. Gentlemen should all have a copy of it. For October, we issued 11 applications. One of those was an agricultural commission. And again, leading the pack was accessory buildings with 5 new additional accessory buildings, bringing that total to year-to-date for 33. We did have one new home. And as you can see, plainly, your Board of Appeals has been pretty busy. They've already heard 15 cases, and I assume they will hear 1 or 2 more before the first of the year. Other than that, that's all I have. Let's vote tomorrow.
Okay, any questions for Frank?
I do. Frank, do you keep a tally of agricultural buildings, which of course are exempt from zoning? I know I got 2 neighbors building right now. They come up, they fill out an exempt form.
Right, they're supposed to go on these.
I think a lot of them
Most of them do.
Most of them do, yeah.
I got one right now that I know about, I talked to him about it, I knew he was gonna do it, but he didn't actually do it. But he knew he didn't have to really do it, but
We keep a tally of those then too?
we tried to, yes. If they get an application, definitely we have, in other words, for instance, to date, this year is 5. Agriculture.
Yeah, just to be clear, there's no fee, it's just,
Right. It's a
You know,
courtesy, and we take a lot of time trying to explain to them, if they go that route, that they have to, 2 things that they have to be aware of. One, that if a fire were to occur in that building and it become a total loss, your homeowner's insurance may or may not pay for it to be rebuilt. Some insurance companies will cover them, some insurance companies will not. The second thing is the building department will only inspect the electric to the outside wall of the building. They will not go in the building and make an inspection. So, but there was this only inspector from Clarendon, he was an insurance agent for years. He's now retired, but and he said that a lot of homeowners insurances will not pay for if a barn burns down, they will not pay for it because their policies, well, it was never inspected, and of course, you all know the building department will not inspect it. Even if you try to get them to, they will not.
So if I built this barn and I'm agriculture, and I call my insurance company and I said, I built this barn, I want it insured, they're gonna tell me no, or they're gonna say, well, then we'd have to inspect it. I can't imagine anybody would say, no, we're not gonna do it.
Gene, they may say to you, they'll cover it for an additional fee or something.
Well, you have to pay an additional fee anyway, it's another structure on your property.
And years ago, it wasn't a problem. It's just when building departments throughout the state and everything started to refuse to do inspections and everything, then, insurance companies got wind of that, and they said, well, if they're not getting inspected, how can we guarantee that they're built properly? We're not gonna insure them.
Well, doesn't the insurance company, at least anytime I've had something insured, they come out and they inspect it for me. And then they tell me what.
That's what happened in my case. Years ago when I had the fire, they did cover it. They did cover it, but,
Are you talking to all new construction?
yeah.
Okay, so So basically,
But
there's different inspection standards, so if you're building a barn and you're not planting agriculture, then
That thing is
it
fully
does have to
inspected.
be fully inspected.
Well, the tough part is that you can get an agriculture exemption for a structure and have living quarters in it.
There's a lot of those around.
Yeah.
I know that, when I was a kid, I worked at Lee Road Nursery, I
And
used to deliver
the
some of
only
those
thing they
houses.
would, the only thing that the building department would inspect was the electricity to the building. Once, not inside, they wouldn't go inside the building. We have one going up right now, you all know him. And I had to email the building department that this structure is being built agricultural and is exempt from zoning.
We all know.
Mm-hmm, you sure do.
Do you know?
I don't know exactly who it is right now, but we're not gonna rat them out either.
Some of those estates off of County Line Road I used to deliver to, and they all had living quarters in the horse
Oh,
barns.
yeah. Well, on Munn Road, there's 2 horse barns on Munn Road that have living quarters in it. There's one on Taylor May Road that has living quarters in
Down on Valley, there was.
it. Yep,
Are they not supposed to have living quarters because they're zoned agriculture technically?
yep.
Yep, okay.
Right, but isn't there some loophole with the caretaker of, yes.
Your
Yeah,
take,
we
we're gonna,
had a bunkhouse for,
yep.
okay. Any other questions for Frank?
It was a nice lively conversation.
Okay, Michael Fenstermaker, you're young, so we don't care how you're feeling.
Feeling good.
The Auburn Township Road Department report for November 2024. This time of year, we're kind of focused on 2 different tasks. One of the focus is roads, getting them prepared for winter. So we've been putting down a lot of asphalt, patching roads, filling holes, that kind of thing. We've been on Moreland. Moreland's gonna get probably a full reconstruction next year, so we just put some stuff down and try to glue that together so that we can get it through winter. We worked on Stafford, between 44 and Snow. We did some grader patches on Fox Road. We did do some grader patching on Crackle Road, between Auburn and 44. That project we did in conjunction with Manaway Road Department. They called us and said they'd like to do some work down there, so got to work with them on that one.
Which one?
On Crackle, Harner Road, half say was half.
That's Harner Road, that's Harner over there now, isn't it?
I think if you go over the township line, it's Harner, on this side of the line, it's Crackle, but I don't know. We did work on the other section of Crackle between Auburn and Thorpe, did some grader patching down there. And we did do some work on Colchester. The second task this time of year is get the trucks ready for winter. We go through them pretty carefully this time of year. All the trucks get oil changed and lubed, but truck 14 isn't our newest truck, it's our second newest truck. The transmission lines are rotted out on that, so we put new lines in that. Truck 18, put a new oil pan in that, new batteries. Truck 19 transmission lines are rotted on that, we put those in. And truck 15, we just replaced the cutting edge on the plow. It's not done yet, we've got some more repairs on that. We have had some issues on Crackle Road down near Thorpe. Somebody has decided to clean out, it looks to me like an apartment or something, and they're dumping piles of trash down there. And it's filling up our dumpster. We filled up a 40-yard dumpster this last time, so did make a police report.
Good.
Yeah. So they're aware of that. We did find one piece of paper with an address and a name from a while ago, but he took a picture of that, so, you know, they're aware of the issue down there.
pretty vacant down there,
That's,
isn't it?
and I asked, I said, the only thing we can think of is a trail cam and a tree,
Yeah.
and he said, that's, they really don't have a whole lot of options, you know, that's about all we can do, so we're thinking about that.
It's been a while. Remember we had that epidemic of dumping stuff on the back of Frostwood years ago?
Well, they put it, that drive or road back into the pit, somebody put a gate across. I think they were going back in there and dump, and now there's a gate, they can't get in there, so now they're dumping out at the road.
Years ago, when there a dump off of Frank's Road too, that
Oh, yeah.
everybody just went to and dumped stuff.
Yeah, it looked like it was old stuff out of an apartment, it was just a variety of, I mean, we filled a pickup truck and a loader bucket, so. All the resident requests that have come in, spring, summer, everything's been addressed. I mean, we still get resident requests every week, we get several, so not all of them are caught up, but everything that was lingering is all done.
What kind of requests are you getting?
So some of the recent requests are ditching, roadside mowing, asphalt repair. We did get a call about a block pipe on Valley. We got some beavers down there that are building a dam in it. We're gonna be probably back down there tomorrow or the next day. So once a week, clean that out. And we did have a call about a tree down on Valley last Thursday. It was pretty windy out. Went down there and cleared that right by Frank's there. And ended up being a big limb out of a tree.
Let me ask you, was it off the road when you got there? Or did the guy get it moved, you know?
I got down there, I drove the loader, so I had a couple guys with chainsaws go ahead of me, and by the time I got there, half of it was already off. But the call was tree blocking the entire road.
Lynn said some guy was trying to move it when she got to me, and I said, well, I can't help him, so, because
No.
I'm not allowed to even go outside.
We were paving down on Crackle, so we had a truckload of asphalt, so we had to get that off the truck before I could get down there, so it took us a little time to get down there. So we got that all cleaned up. And the only other thing is we do have a new employee, so we've been training him and getting him up on how we do things in Auburn and getting him familiar with his new plow rod. The basics.
Seem to be fitting in.
He does, yeah. Easy going, willing to do, whatever I ask.
Excellent.
It's good to hear.
The county still pick up dead deer on their county roads? I got a couple on Monday.
If you push it out into the road right away, they'll get it. If it's in your yard, apparently not. So I got a call on Washington, and he called us, and I said, well, it's on a county road, and they told him they had to be in the right of way, and he asked me what to do. I said, well, push it out right away. I mean, I don't know what else you're gonna do with it.
I saw a truck on 306, stopped off to the side, and he had about 20 dead deer on the back of the truck. They were loading them up.
I knew a guy that had a deal with the state. He's out in Montana now, but Jogga County, he was to pick up dead deer off the state highway. And what he did, he told me as much, he says if it was in front of a field where most of them are gonna be, you drag them up behind the tree and nobody sees them again. $75.
Did you just tell them how many he picked up, or do you have to show proof?
Maybe pictures or something, I don't know, but
Well, there seems to be a lot of them lately.
usually it was a call that they dispatched him to.
I had asked Mike to look into, I got a couple calls from parents whose kids play football at our football field up here at the park, and it looks like a drain tile pipe or something just caved in, and there was a whole strip that went down, kids were stepping in it and twisting ankles or whatever, so.
I met with
we got
JFD up there.
Yeah.
Actually, we just met the other day. He said he wouldn't have that. I was hoping he'd have something by now,
Yeah.
and he said probably not yet. So I'm hoping to get an idea of what that might be.
That's
And there was another spot where it had settled. It's kind of in between where they marked two fields, but while they're there, maybe we'll have them flatten that out a little bit. We'll see what the price is.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions from Mr. Fenstermaker? Okay.
That point.
Yeah. Mr. McCune?
Well, the only thing I have is the same thing I had last week with the Hess and Associates engineering thing. As you remember, we asked to send this up to our attorney to look at the whole thing, and she's got about 1 million questions on this thing. You know, what she says is, I will need to see the past contracts and invoices paid tied to work already completed in this project. Now, was that part of the project? We had a perk test. That could have been done by anybody to just see if we could perk up to do a project. I wouldn't consider this part of that project, but.
I would agree with you, that was
Right,
kind of like,
that's not a
we're
part of
doing
it.
our own
Yeah,
research on
right.
that one.
And then she says, I need to understand if Hess would be considered a design professional for the purpose of what appears to be a public improvement project. If they are, certain statutory process must be followed prior to the township contracting with them. So I'm gonna get with Hess and say, you know, we gotta do a little more investigation on this. I'm pretty sure, who was telling me Newberry has already gone through this process of putting in bathrooms up there by their park? Somebody was telling me, but I'm gonna call them and see if they've had to go through these, you know, so what do we have to do if it's a public improvement project?
Are the bathrooms, are you talking about over by Adam Hall or by the new park?
By the
Newberry
new
Park.
park.
And she wants to know, is it on our property, is it on the, yeah, that we
No,
don't
it'll
have
be
access
it'll be
to, it's on our property.
Yes.
And so, and like I said, I informed the park what we were thinking of doing, and all they said was just keep us informed, but, so, we're gonna have to do some more work on this, and I'll get with Hess and tell them, we just gotta put this off a little bit until we get from Chrissy what she wants, because she's got 1 million questions in this thing.
She does, and she's kind of way out, she's kind of left the field on this, because we're just trying to see if this is feasible. right
Well, that's
now.
what I said, you gotta find out this and that, well, we can't tell anybody anything till we know what it's gonna
On a
cost.
cost.
So, I don't know. It sounds like what she's saying to us right now, we can't contract with them until we know what we're doing.
Okay,
Okay,
so, we won't know what we're doing until we contract.
well, there you go, so I'll give her a call and see if I can.
Yeah,
figure
maybe
out
if you
what
just
she's
kind of
trying to
explain
say
what
to
we're
me.
doing, maybe
Right.
that'll.
And then, of course, she said, I can't sign this just by myself. Well, no, I wasn't going to. All 3 trustees would have to be a part of it, but, okay. That's all I have. I'll keep working on this, because, as PJ said at the last meeting, this is probably what's next at the park.
Yeah, it is, and we're just trying to find out if it's something we
If
can
it's something
afford.
feasible, right.
You know, we're looking into this because the
Right.
chances of that sewer line being taken down in
Right.
front of the park are slim.
Right.
We can't afford to install that ourselves.
Right,
And there's no taps at McFarland right now anyway.
right. I'm gonna check, like I said, I thought someone told me Newberry was already part of this process.
They've been
done,
chasing
so
us.
I'm
I read it
gonna-
in the paper even,
Yeah.
about 6 months ago.
I'll check with them, see what they're up to. That's all I have.
Okay, PJ?
No, it's on, I have nothing because it's on the agenda, so let's just move on down.
Okay. Dan?
Okay, since we last met, October 21st, I processed, or our office processed 8 electronic payments totaling $20,526.27. And we processed 15 warrants totaling $9,481.86 for a total of $30,008.13. You'll have copies of the October bank reconciliation, and as of October 31st, in our primary checking, we have $1,804,793.63. In our Star Ohio account, we have $1,211,991.33, for a total of $3,016,784.96. Pass it down. Also, I have a resolution to present, 2024-25. If you recall, last year, we set up a capital projects fund 4903 to put money into each year towards a new truck for the road department. So, the Board of Trustees, Auburn Township, Geauga County, met today in regular session. Be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of Auburn Township, Geauga County, that the following permanent reallocation of funds are necessary for prior resolution from last year, 2023-35, for the establishment of a capital project fund for the purpose of the acquisition of a single axle dump truck with plow pursuant to and is allowed by Ohio Revised Code 5705.13C. Whereas it is the desire of the board to authorize an inter-fund transfer of $60,000 from gasoline tax fund 2021 to be certified into the miscellaneous capital projects fund 4903.
Yeah, that's, I think we discovered, was it last year, 2 years ago now, that townships are legally cannot borrow money and purchase a truck over time.
Yeah.
And that's something we've been doing here for decades. So I was a surprise to everyone involved, including the bank that was ready to loan us the money. So,
But considering the cost of a vehicle these days, I guess the county doesn't like you to carry money over unless it's in a
you have a
specific
plan, yeah.
fund, so.
No, it's what we have to do now.
Yeah.
Replacement vehicles for the road department, so. That's a resolution.
2024-25.
Okay, I'll make a motion to adopt that.
Second,
Gene,
Yes.
PJ,
Yes.
Mike.
yes.
Okay, and one last thing, in our fiscal audit, it was noted that our procedure of depositing monies once a week or every other week to the bank, monies that we collect from rentals at Adam Hall and Town Hall or the park, zoning permit fees, cemetery fees, they have to be monies have to be deposited like every other day. So I talked to Nancy, I talked to Jane, in lieu of her going to the bank every day, and I've talked to some other townships, they have a scanner where you could scan the checks through. It's about $75 a month, and that way, as fast as we get the checks, we can have them deposited in the bank account.
You can just take a picture of it.
I was gonna say, that doesn't sound fair. It's free on my app.
Yeah, it's
to
free on
deposit
my
the
app,
checks
too.
digitally.
Yeah,
They
but then
charge you
you're gonna have,
$75
then
a
I
month
gotta,
for that?
then I'd have to have everybody, they'd have to have access to the bank account, which I don't think is a good idea to have 1, 2, 3 people taking pictures. And I do it with mine, but it's time consuming. A scanner, you just run them through and you're done. I mean, that's my recommendation,
That's fine with me.
That's how much, $75 a month?
$75 a month,
Just to have the equipment.
yeah.
Well, if you figure somebody's gotta go to the bank and back, they gotta do that every other day, and you gotta pay them mileage, $75 isn't that much.
Yeah, it's probably would be more than one, yeah.
We could just go to that local bank, oh, no, we never built that one.
Was there supposed to be a bank here?
Right where you are.
Yeah, right where you are.
Why didn't they end up, oh, it was gonna be.
It was gonna be a little plaza right there at
Just
the
south,
border.
just south.
It was kinda
Oh.
like, it was kinda like a mobile home bank,
Okay.
it was like, or I
Something.
could never understand it, cause it just seemed like a bad idea, having a bank that you can hook the car up to and steal the whole bank.
Yeah, that does seem, yeah, that's weird.
Okay.
You want a motion on that, Dan?
If you think I need one, I don't know. I mean, it's just a part of our procedure of doing business.
Well, like I said, we
Better,
better,
go ahead.
well, I tried to explain to them, we may not necessarily need a motion on this.
This is a resolution.
However, it doesn't hurt if we do a motion, Secondly, it gets into the record when somebody comes back and says, well, why'd you do that? We're covered. So I will make a motion to have them go ahead and get the,
Is this a
Scanner?
lease or purchase, or what is it?
It's a remote deposit scanner, it's to use it for
yeah, I think it's a more.
probably a lease.
Yeah,
Motion
It's like our postage machine we have over there.
yeah.
Okay. How about to obtain the equipment in order to do electronic deposits?
So who made the motion? PJ?
Okay.
Sure.
Yep.
Second,
Gene?
Yes.
PJ?
Yes.
Mike?
yes,
Thank you.
sure.
Let's start with that. I can sell those already, that's hilarious.
Okay. Old business. Open positions at the road department.
Yeah, we conducted some interviews 6 weeks ago, and then we conducted another interview or two after that. Once again, we didn't get an overwhelming response of applicants, but the people who did respond were, I thought, very qualified, each and every one of them. Some discussion between Mr. Fenstermaker and the three of us at different times, and I think the consensus is I'd like to make a motion to offer the job to Nathan Munn
Okay,
at, you want the rate now, or you want that in a separate motion?
you can put it in, all in one motion.
Okay, we're gonna offer the job to Nathan Munn at the rate of $22 an hour.
Okay, and, the main thing is you concur with this, because, okay. In that case, I will second the motion.
Oh, Gene?
You concur with this?
PJ?
I do.
Mike?
Yes. Yes.
I'll vote yes.
So,
Yeah, he's been contacted, we've done this, I think all these conversations happened in the last 10 days, and the preliminary paperwork is already well underway. So, we'll
So-
contact him tomorrow.
I'll text him tonight or something, or talk to him.
So we have a start date? Not yet.
We don't typically, because you don't know if he's leaving a job, does he have to give notice?
He's gonna give a notice, and tentatively the 12th is, but he'd like to give them some time.
We could certainly call early as possible, but sometimes that's 2 weeks off.
But today is the hire date, technically, that's what I was told, when you guys vote on it. There's some confusion, I was confused between what a hire date and the
Yeah,
start date was,
right.
but I was told the hire date is the date you hired them, which is today.
well, that would be, once we made the motion,
We made the motion to hire him today, but
right,
It's
yeah.
not
That's,
the
well,
start
again,
date.
that's contingent on his acceptance.
Right, so
Okay,
if he accepts
so
it,
this, but his start date then would be
whenever he gives
for
his
any
notice,
of
and
the-
it's gonna start.
the 90 days, whatever would start with that.
the 90 days
It's
starts
higher.
today.
Yeah, it's
The
a
hire date, because that's when his insurance is 90 days from today will start. That's what I went through with Peter. I know, go ahead.
I think by definition, tonight's the hire date, because we just hired him.
Exactly,
I mean,
but that also means the probationary period starts today. The 90-day waiting period for insurances start today.
well,
Even though if he
when you
doesn't-
hire someone that's already working at another place, I think you have to assume that they
Yeah.
give notice.
Right.
Well, in that case, I would come back and say, I accept your job, and I just gave my other employer a 90-day notice, and I will come in here when my insurance starts.
So how can the probation start? He's not even here yet.
I don't know, I'm just telling
He
you.
hasn't accepted it, has he?
Yeah, I guess it might do the hire date from when he accepts it, maybe. I
No,
don't know.
it's from the date
That it's-
before.
But that's a nice plug,
hires.
if he doesn't start for another 2 weeks and his probation for 90 days is already 2 weeks behind him and he hasn't even been here yet.
Well, that's what happened with Peter.
That's based on the insurance company
Yeah.
definition. That's how they define it.
That's good for the employee.
Yeah, if that's the way insurance company defines it, they're the,
That's how they, I mean, that's the email we got.
Yeah. Because I questioned it, I wasn't,
I mean, we don't meet for another 2 weeks, so, you know, we could meet daily, I guess, if that speeds things along. I'm not willing to, but. So, I mean, you know,
see, what you're trying to tell me is the insurance company's doing something that doesn't make sense? There's a big surprise. Okay. All right, new business, the Otarma Moore Grant. Okay, now this is a program. Which is $1,000 grant for, what we're looking at is, in this case, personal protective equipment. And what we would like to do, and if you guys are amicable, is take that $1,000 and put it towards steel-toed boots for the road department.
Sounds like a good use.
Okay, and we still have to figure out the logistics of that, how you would like to handle that. We discussed, you could do it on they buy the shoes and then we reimburse them the $200 against whatever they purchased them for. Or is there some other mechanism to get that money into them?
well, do we have the grant?
We don't have the grant yet, so it'll be once we get it received.
Do we know we're gonna get it?
Pretty sure.
That's an application.
Yeah,
I guess I would wait to see if we get the grant.
and once we get it, then we'll address it then, but you guys have any, okay. So I'll just make a motion to, if we receive the $1,000 more grant, that we put that toward protective footgear for the road department.
yeah, I think you gotta have something like that specifically for the grant application.
Right.
That's a good one. I've let those run over by equipment before.
Do they require we purchase the equipment prior to applying for the grant? Some are like that, right, John?
It all depends on who you're doing it grant with.
I
We
said,
probably should wait till we get the grant.
Well, the application deadline is December 31st, so we're.
we're a ways out anyway.
Okay.
The key thing, we just wanted to come up with, okay.
It's a good
An idea what to do.
application. Yeah, it's a good application.
So we just take them all to farm, Tractor Supply.
Okay.
So is there a motion made?
Yes, I'll make a motion to, if we receive the $1,000 more grant, that we put the $1,000 toward protective footwear for the members of the road department.
Okay, I'll second
Gene,
Yes.
PJ,
that. Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
that was a good lead-in.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna be accepting letters of interest. What we're gonna do is send out letters of interest to the current members of the board. And if I advertise, I'll see if there's any other.
Yeah, there'll be one term expiring on each of one with the commission and the board. And then there are 2 alternate positions, 2 on each. 2 for the commission, 2 for the board of appeals.
Okay. All right. I'll make a motion to go ahead and accept letters of interest for the 2025 Auburn zoning board.
Okay.
Do we advertise for that one?
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
Yes.
I'll second that.
Yeah, there.
Gene,
Yes.
PJ,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes. Okay. And last but not least, what we need to do is, for our new road hire, is our cell phone policy says that each member of the Auburn Township Road Department will personally contract and carry a cell phone. The township will pay each member of the road department a stipend of $50 per month to offset the personal cell phone contract they maintain. The employee must be available in case the Auburn Volunteer Fire Department, Gilmore Security, etc. has to contact them. Okay, so some questions arose is, because in our organizational meeting, we actually specify the members of the road department who get it. So, so I wanted to specifically get this on the record, make a motion to give new man
Peter Orvez.
Peter Orvick, cell phone stipend of $50 per month, and have that dated back to, again, when he started working. Because it's like, okay, it's one of those things, yeah, we can swing 90 days, but you tell him he's gotta have something, okay, just do it.
All right, so let's add Pete Orbitz to that list. Are we gonna delete them? I'm looking, John?
An organizational meeting?
Well, they're not here to pay, so I haven't been given them this thing.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the cell phone policy, this is totally separate from the organizational meeting. All we do is say specifically who's got it, so.
Okay, so let's add Pete Orbitz to that list. That's a motion.
Second.
Gene.
Yes.
PJ.
Yes.
What are you gonna add to do?
Michael.
Yes. Okay.
Well, I gotta claim some time back here because everybody probably is going to or already did drive past that pile of logs that's been out there for a month. Apparently Weaver Tree forgot about that. They were supposed to come pick it up and they never did. So a resident noticed, a resident from up the street here in Washington, and asked if he could remove and keep the cut down maple tree. Nancy called Weaver and said, oh, nobody ever picked those up? So that's exactly what happened. They were supposed to go. Now this resident wants it, and he's taken about a third of half of it out already.
Is he gonna take it all?
He's gonna take it all.
Weaver didn't want it.
They were just gonna grind it up anyway, so this is a firewood thing, I'm quite sure.
Okay.
And, so have at it.
Furniture out of
Is that what he's doing? No, I don't think so. He's making firewood out of it. And he's been cleaning up the sawdust out there too, so. Just one of those things.
All right. Any public comment?
What I was just you guys make a motion and then someone seconds it, but then everybody votes?
Yes.
So making the motion isn't the vote though? Like making the motion is just opening it to the vote?
Correct.
But then it can't be voted on unless it's seconded? Okay, that's what I thought, but I just
Yeah, we
wanted,
can't,
just
yeah,
curious.
if a motion's made, if it's not seconded, then that motion dies for lack of a second.
Okay,
And you could also make a motion and have it seconded, and then
then
have
it's-
two of the other guys vote against it.
yep, yeah.
And sometimes if you're being vindictive, you're actually the one who seconds it, just so
to
you can vote
against
against it.
Okay.
I can give you an example if you'd like, but I'll wait.
Alright. Do we have enough, is there more to vote on, or more motions?
No.
Well,
Okay.
Okay. Based on that, going once, going twice, okay, I'm gonna make a motion to adjourn.
And I'll second that.
Gene.
No. Yes.
PJ.
Last time we had two people vote no, we had to sit here for 3
I was
weeks.
just gonna say, I'll fix it, I'll vote, just to stick it to him. I'll vote yes.
Michael.
Yes.
That's fine.
Remember last week, the girl that was here said, we have too much fun?
Well, it'd be more fun than being a township.
She said
trustee.
Bainbridge, they don't talk to each
The journalist,
Yeah.
yeah, I forget.
other. No, they were here for Kenston,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
and the one girl was from Bainbridge, and she said, "Wait, you all talk to each other."
Yeah, what a concept.
I still can't get over that.
Gene, how was trick or treat on your birthday?
Oh.
Since that came up with the last one.
And yeah, it was okay. It's funny, I don't care for trick or treat at all, I never did, even though it's my birthday. Everybody celebrates my birthday like that. You know, when you. And thank you for all the birthday wishes I got on Facebook.
Got canceled.
The thing that's unique about that, and I said this before, I have 4 members, but my father, my mother, and my brother were all born in October. I made it by an hour on the 31st at 11 o'clock, so.
Yeah, it's weird, I live in a development, and a lot of people, it was 30 years ago, so a lot of people were, in their 30s when they were moved in there, and we had a bunch of kids, and then it's, every year it was a little bit less, and a little bit less, and I think it was like 4 years ago, I think I had like 3 trick-or-treaters.
Yeah.
And I was out giving away candy, because now that all the new kids are moving in, I had like a group of like 20 of them coming in one pack, you know?
See, we get
That's what happens when a
nobody.
Timmons moves into your neighborhood.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a nice night. It was a beautiful
It was,
night.
wasn't it?
Had a really nice fall so
On
far.
the
Yes.
front porch, it was interesting watching, because the wind kept kicking up, and it's like, oh, that's the last of the leaves, because they were just,
Yeah, they did. That was it.
But that night, gorgeous, really nice.
Well, thank you guys.
Thank you, good to see you. Everybody vote early, vote often tomorrow.
Yes.
Thank you, thanks, Mike.
What time is it
This
open?
ain't much fun as you thought.
Oh, nice, okay.
You're spotting the
I won't be
limelight.
there that
I
early.
went down to see the beaver.
It's 6:32, 6:30.
No, with the day.
7:30.
Okay, so like 13 hours.
I was like, I have.
As soon as I wake up tomorrow, I'll walk my way or drive my.
Did she, did anybody complain about that?
Because I had,
I did.
Nothing goes on here.
And I figured that, I figured it out, but I wanted to
And
just,
she
I
said
figured why not
that
call
one
it,
hundred
but
road,
I
she
wanted to
did.
go. Robert's rules.
Yeah, Valley Park.
Oh, that's like for you.
It seems weird that they would
Yeah, that was, Jimmy Boyd had.
Part of the beaver dam broke away, so there's like.
Okay,